Good Monday morning. It is Monday, February 10th, and the first thing I have to do today is ship out the shirts that I printed on Friday last week. So that's number one, first thing I want to do. And then priorities this week are going to be finish the cactuses, but that's priority number two. What I want to do before that, because it's more of a bigger idea project, I want to get working on that giraffe storytelling print that I was working on last week. So I'm going to start sketching for the other 2 or 3 panels that I'm going to do in that print, and then move forward with the carving this week. There's my plan for the week. I'm going to narrow down what I'm doing a little bit, focus on a couple bigger projects rather than doing like 10 small projects all at the same time. First, let's get these to the post office. I was going to film myself putting the shirts into bags and all the post office thing, but 2 things. I don't want any chance of anybody seeing anybody else's address, so for security reasons I didn't do that. Also, it's not that interesting. I just put shirts into bags, put a shipping label on them, and take them to the post office. But I did film the folding of the t-shirts, and you'll see that here. See, it wasn't that interesting. But now I'm going to work on sketching the rest of the elements for the storytelling block that I'm working on. So it's gonna have a story of how this giraffe gets the ice cream that he wants. So it's Monday afternoon now. I've been sitting here sketching for a couple hours, and some images are easier to sketch up than others, and this one has been quite a difficult one. It's been a little bit of a character design exercise for me, I guess. And so this was the first 2-minute sketch that I did, and then I moved to this after a lot of different trials and errors, and I thought he was a little bit too cartoony, so I went to a new sketch, and that was the same level of cartoony. And then I got to there, and I was like, that's too much Bugs Bunny. And so what I finally landed on is this little guy offering an ice cream cone. So that is going to be our hero of the story, who comes and gives the ice cream cone to the giraffe, the sad giraffe. So I've literally been sketching all day long, and I finally come to a spot where I think I'm getting close to the idea that's in my head, how I wanted it to look, rather than, just making concessions on how I can make it work. So it's always, you get one idea and then you don't know how to piece it together. But this is what I've got. I've got the 2 sketches that I've worked on significantly for the the beginning of the story, and then the hero of the story, and then I've got a little panel here where the rabbit will be putting down some money. I got to flesh that out a little bit more, and then the giraffe licking his lips coming in to take his bite. It's Tuesday now, so good morning. I learned something yesterday. I learned that documenting the sketching process and creating process is kind of difficult, because it's hard for me to tell you exactly where my inspiration is coming from, because my inspiration is I just see pictures in my head, and then I do my best to get those pictures in my head to come onto paper. It's really difficult to have that come across in a vlog form. But I did finish my sketch last night of the storytelling scene, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. So it's a storytelling piece of a giraffe who's too tall to go into the ice cream store, but really wants a piece of ice cream. You see that up in the upper left-hand corner. And then it tells the story of a little rabbit who goes down, puts his money on the counter, buys the ice cream, and then the giraffe is happy to eat it. So it's just a very simple little comic splash page, I guess, idea. The challenges with this were that it was kind of difficult to draw a cartoon rabbit that didn't look like other cartoon rabbits. I guess I just have those stuck into my head, so I spent a lot of time. I drew a rabbit and I was like, that looks too much like Bugs Bunny. Then I drew another rabbit and it looked too much like another cartoon bunny. So I had to go and change things to make it look not like a cartoon buddy, like a familiar cartoon buddy. But other than that, it was just a long process because there was a lot going into it. And then I first had to come up with all the sketches and then work on composition to make it all one cohesive scene. So it was difficult to do all of that and record its process because it's a lot of mind work, and then it's not really interesting because it's a long process. So that's what I worked on yesterday. Today, I'm gonna get this up on a board and cut out some wood, so that's a little bit easier to record because it is really like step 1, step 2, step 3. So let me go cut out some wood so I can get started putting this drawn up onto the wood. Alright, so that giraffe storytelling piece is going to be printed on an 18 by 24 inch sheet of paper with 1 inch margins. So that means I need a piece that is 16 by 22. That is the wood that I'm going to carve it out of. This is just a big piece of birch, 4 feet wide by 5 feet, 4 feet by 5 feet. I'm going to measure out and cut out this wood. I'm also going to cut out some like blank canvas pieces so I can just work on things without having to sit here and cut out some wood. So I'm going to cut some additional squares. I'm just going to cut up this whole sheet into, I don't know, a handful of different squares. Alright, I've got it all measured out. I've got my 22 by 16 inch piece for the giraffe carving up there, and then I've just got random squares for, I got 2 more big pieces like the concrete jungle piece I did in vlog number 1, a couple of the smaller pieces like the pieces I did last week. Blank canvases for that kind of work. So I'm going to cut these out now and then get to work on that carving, the giraffe carving. Got my projector set up and ready to draw out this complicated piece onto this board. The board, like I said, is set up so it'll be an inch margin on an 18 by 24 inch sheet of paper. So it is 1 inch from each side, so 2 inches minus from 18 by 24. So it's 22 inches wide by 16 inches, or 16 inches wide by 22 inches tall. I've got this projected onto it, ready to draw. And I've also got a little printout of the drawing itself, just so I can reference it, because sometimes the details on the projector can be a little bit difficult to read. I've got this to reference. One thing that you notice is that the image is reversed, so that when it prints, all the words are going to read forward. So ice cream is reversed, yum is reversed, the whole image itself is reversed. After a couple hours of work, I've got this the drawing all planned out onto my board, and now all I have to do is spray paint the whole board and then carve it out. And it's going to take quite a minute. It's probably not going to be finished this week because it's basically 4 different pieces in one piece. And these 18 by 24 carvings take me a long time anyways, even if it's just a real simple design concept. This one, every inch of it is planned. So this one's going to take me a minute. Good Wednesday morning. So it's last night I stayed up a little late working on this carving of the giraffe story block, and I did get one of the panels completed. It's the smallest bottom right panel. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this block and see how far I can get on it. I imagine I can get 2 more panels done today, unless I do this one. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just get this one panel done today. That's probably what I should do. I'm going to start on even though I don't want to, because I know this one's going to be a pain to carve. It's going to be a lot of work. That is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to start on this one. I kind of wanted to talk about why I'm doing this piece. Like I said, it's January and it's February. Well, January's gone. But January and February are like the times of the year when I can kind of focus and work on stuff that I want to do, because I don't have a whole lot of noise from the outside world that I'm concentrated on. During the rest of the year, it's easy to how do I say this? It's easy to chase dollar bills, because I'm a full-time artist and I make my living off of making work. So it's easy for me to have the thought, oh, people will buy this, so I will make it. rather than make things that I would like to make. This is a huge time investment for me, and I'm not even sure that it's going to be a huge money investment, but it's just something that I want to do. It's something that I had an idea for, and I wanted to see if I could do it, and see if I enjoyed doing it. So that's why I want to do this piece. I wanted to work bigger, more serious, more involved pieces, rather than just doing small little things that people might buy. Sometimes I feel like I get in the way of myself from making work that I like and work that other people would like, because I have the thought, well, I don't know if people will buy this, because the dollar value of something that takes this much time is going to be higher, and it's harder to sell things like this. But I think it's important to get away from thinking about money when you're making work and just make work. And that's where I am with this piece right now. So I'm going to work on this today, hopefully finish it in the next couple days, and then move forward from there. It's about 4 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon, and I have got the first little section done, well, second little section done, but it is easily the most complicated of the sections. So that one is completed. And then I'm just going to work on carving these last two pieces, and then we can get a test proof going. That is definitely going to take me into tomorrow. So I'm going to carve the bunny first. And carved. Day 3 of carving. It is now Thursday, and I will finish this today. I only have this top little corner to do. 3 days of carving, probably 15 hours, maybe more than that, maybe 15 to 20 hours carving in total. And this piece is finally done. There's a lot going on in it, so that's why it took so long. Very complicated, a lot of little small areas, little bricks, little zigzags all over the place. Just a lot of little detail going on. Even in this little carrot, which is, about the size of the tip of my finger. But this is finished now. Can't wait to print it up and then start on something new tomorrow. It's Friday. So now that I'm completely done with this block, which literally took me all week to plan and carve and get done, I was going to do a printing day where I was going to proof this one and then print a number of other things that all the wood that I cut out earlier this week. I was going to print some stuff on that. But instead of doing all that, I'm going to do a planning day where I have a clearer vision of what I want to print on things. So I have a number of things I want to sketch. I want to sketch some small, 2-inch blocks, some small 2-inch pieces that I will turn into blocks, and I'll be able to turn those into designs for hats, and I'll be able to turn them into print actual patches for them, like sew-on patches. So I want to sketch those out, and then I have an idea for a bird print, a carving, and then we'll see where else that leads me. Okay, so I am sitting here about to start sketching for. I'm going to start with the little patch idea I have, just to kind of get warmed up. So I want to do a turtle. So first, I'm just going to sketch out what I want the turtle to look like. And these are going to be small, like 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches, little carvings. So let me just sketch out what I'm thinking for a turtle first. I like to sketch things out before looking for pictures, so I'm not sitting there trying to, copy a picture. and it looks more like just like a picture I found on the internet rather than just an idea I had. Oh, go back. Since it's going to be small, I don't want it to be super complex. Something like that. Something real simple. So I'm going to take this. To watch the full sketching video, click the link in the description below. Otherwise, enjoy this time lapse. So I just sat down and I sketched a turtle for one of the small ideas that I was having. This little guy. He's got a little flower coming out of one of the cracks in his back, but he's going to be a very, very small carving, probably about 2.5, maybe 3 inches in size, but very small. It's going to be for like I said, hat designs and for a patch, like a sew-on patch. It's very, very small carving. But I also recorded myself drawing it, both a screen capture and me talking about it and the decisions I'm making and why I'm doing it. So I'm going to upload that simultaneously to this video for anyone who wants to sit down and watch it. It's quite a long watch, probably about half an hour. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at it yet. So I'm not going to put it into here, but I am going to upload it simultaneously with this video if anyone wants to sit down and watch that, see my thoughts and see how that sketch came from a blank sheet of paper or a blank screen to nothing. I will say, as far as my inspiration and stuff, I want to do something that I draw a lot, which is turtles, as my first experiment into this little carving piece, something that I have a level of comfort with. And then to add a little layer of interest, I put the flower coming out of the little cracks in his back. And the inspiration for that is on the mailbox that we have outside, spring's starting to come up, and I haven't done lawn work in a while, since December or so, since Christmas. And there's little pieces of life coming from the cracks in the mailbox, so we have a brick mailbox. So I wanted to kind of put that in there, like the little spring, little interest coming through the cracks in the mailbox. In the turtle. I'm going to end the video here. I know this week's been really hyper-focused on me completing that one really complicated block, but I'm going to end it here, and next week I'll do a little bit more, just a little bit more, rather than spending 20 hours carving one single block and drawing one single block. But sometimes the weeks look like this, that they're really hyper-focused on one project, and that's where I am right now. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment, hit the thumbs up, like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and just, share the vlog around if you would like. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week.